Hi teachers, it's Kristen Wallace and I'm here with another Bloomboard tip. Today we're going to talk about setting up your professional learning goals or your PLGs for the 2015-16 school year. The first thing I'm going to do is go to Bloomboard. Now if you remember from last year, the Bloomboard interface changed at the end of last year. So when you first come to Bloomboard, you don't want to sign in over here, you want to go up here to Bloomboard's observation tools. Once you get to this screen, it'll probably look familiar. I'm going to go to my dashboard so I can get started with my professional learning goals, or my PLGs. When you get to the home page of Bloomboard, you should see your 3 activities for the year listed here. If you've already had a drop-in, you might see those listed as well. I'm actually going to scroll down to the bottom of this page, and here's where I'm going to set my professional learning goals. Now as you can see, I already have 2 goals listed here, and the reason I have 2 goals is because these are goals that I worked on last year, and at the end of last year we marked one of my goals as complete, my administrator and we left 2 for the upcoming year. One interesting thing about Bloomboard is that these goals are constantly being transformed, and so they don't save from year to year. So we're going to talk about a couple things that you can do if you want to save your goals. So if I'm ready to plan my SLGs, remember on Bloomboard they're called SLOs, I'm going to click into this. And down here at the bottom, I want to point this out. It says View Goals Marked as Complete. So if I click on this, I can actually look at the goal that I had last year. Last year this was made complete, and I had a couple of goals that I actually made inactive myself. And I could go in here if I wanted to and delete those goals. These were some classroom goals that I had in addition to some things that I was doing as an integrationist. We haven't decided the best way to do this, so what I would say to you is you want to make sure that you keep a record of things that you've done. So you could archive these goals and then start new goals for this year and just put a date on them if you wanted to. Since I'm working on these goals again this year, instead of archiving them, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a date in some of my action steps. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into my first goal. And one of the things I want to do with this goal is I would like to change some of the descriptors. One thing I did last year is I maybe aligned too many descriptors to my goal. I would say that of the 17 descriptors, your goal maybe should have 1, 2, maybe a maximum of 3. And one of the things that I did last year is I kind of over-assigned. And what I would say is that if you have too many descriptors aligned to a goal, it's probably a goal that's going to be too general, and I want my goal to be a little bit more specific. So I'm going to take out some of these descriptors. I'm going to save that, and then what I'm going to do here is when I edit, I'm going to go in and I'm going to go ahead and put that this was 2014-15. This is what I did for that. And then I'm going to come down here to the bottom, and I actually just added this yesterday. This is my 2015-16 part of my goal. And so that's how I'm going to keep what I'm doing with my goals separate if I'm keeping a goal that lasts from one year to the next. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. I also want to make sure that I have some sort of measure. Survey results are going to be part of the measure, and I might come back here and clean that up a little bit and add some more detail. So now that I've added that post, again up here is where you can make it inactive if there was a goal that you want to not work on this year, or delete. And I would recommend that you don't delete but make it active, then you have a record of all your goals. I'm going to return to my goal planning, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add another goal. So to add another goal, remember you have about 100 words to add that. So one of my goals this year is to provide some personalized professional development for staff. So I'm going to just go ahead and enter that, and then again I go into View Details, and here's where I'm going to align it with indicators, and the rubrics pop up here. Here's where I'm going to talk about the activities that I would do specifically and the measures. Once you've completed these, remember that throughout the year you're going to want to come back and add evidence that you've been working on these professional learning goals. This year we are recommending that you put all of your evidence into your annual evaluation. One thing we ran into last year is that some people had a hard time accessing their different documentation and their different evidence. So we're telling everybody this year to come to the annual evaluation and put any evidence that you have into documents. In documents you can upload all sorts of evidence, and you can also tag it directly to your indicators, and I'm going to show you how to do that in an upcoming video. So that's a little bit about how to update your PLGs for the 2015-16 school year. If you have any additional questions about Bloomboard, you can always access the Bloomboard website on the Edge 21 site. There are video resources here on all the different steps. And remember, your PLGs should be completed by October 23rd. Again, if you have any questions, you can contact me, Kristen Wallace.